Hey Collective, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day today. So today we're going to talk about something near and dear to my heart. Or maybe not so near and dear, just as much as something that's really, really familiar to me. Haters. If there's one thing I'm familiar with, it is people who are two-faced. The ones who will look you dead in the face and smile, then turn around and drag your name through the mud. One day you're their sunshine, and the next you're their storm, and you can't help but wonder, what changed? You search yourself trying to find the words you misspoke, where you slipped, the thing you did to deserve the shift. But I've learned, sometimes it's not about what you did, it's about who you are. When you start growing, when you begin to stretch past the places you once stood still, people get uncomfortable. When your light starts shining a little brighter, it can hurt eyes that have only ever seen shadows. They don't hate you for your faults. They hate you for your flame. And the truth is, some people don't mind you being good as long as you don't get better than them. I want you to know this. You weren't born to quiet your soul just to keep the peace in a room built on silence. Your rise will bother those who never dared to climb. Your joy will rattle cages of those who are chained to bitterness. And your presence, your very being, will stir the minds of those too afraid to look in the mirror. Sometimes when you begin to elevate, when your steps grow firmer and your voice gains strength, people who once walked beside you will start to turn away. It's confusing, it's sudden, it's silent at first. A missed call, a strange distance, a colder tone. Then it grows louder, whispers behind your back, looks that no longer hold warmth, words laced with bitterness. And you wonder what you did wrong. But maybe it's not about what you did, it's about who you became. You see, your growth holds up a mirror, and it reflects something they're not ready to see. Your progress, your healing, your ambition. Highlight the places they've stayed the same, and I suppose that hurts. It stirs something in them, not because you wronged them, but because they wronged themselves by standing still for far too long. They see you moving forward and feel the ache of all the times they chose not to try. Because the honest truth is, we live in a world where comfort is easy and effort is rare. So when you start demanding more of yourself, when you push past excuses, when you dream a little louder, it shakes people who've made peace with mediocrity. Your growth says it's possible, and that probably scares them more than failure ever could, because now the only thing standing in their way is themselves. And sadly, that's a truth many would rather bury than face. It's not your confidence they hate, it's their insecurity echoing back at them. It's not your success they envy, it's the reflection of their own fear of trying. You didn't change into someone they despise, you just became someone who reminds them of who they could have been. And that reminder doesn't sit easy with a soul that's been quiet for far too long. I have learned this world has some unspoken rules. Stay small so others can feel big. Be humble, but not too proud. Be talented, but not too bright. Love yourself, but not so loudly others feel their self-hate start to rise. And when you break those rules, when you stop apologizing for becoming, when you start choosing yourself, that is when the silent exit begins. Some will ghost you, others will resent you, a few will turn bitter and loud. But what they won't do is admit they're hurting because you reminded them they stopped growing long ago. You were once there together. You struggled together, cried together, and dreamed under the same sky. But not everyone who dreams with you is ready to build with you or grow with you. Some just want to stay in the comfort of the dream, and when you decide to wake up and move, they're reminded of their sleep. Your journey becomes the evidence of their hesitation. Your strength becomes a challenge they didn't ask for. And instead of cheering you on, they choose the easier path: to hate what they don't understand or have the willpower to work for. But don't shrink from it or apologize for wanting more for yourself. You didn't come this far just to keep others comfortable. You didn't heal your wounds just to pretend they never existed. You're not arrogant for growing. You're not cruel for evolving. You're just becoming more of who you always were. And let's be real, it hurts. Losing people hurts. Being misunderstood hurts. Being ignorantly misjudged hurts. But growth, real growth, comes with shedding. Snakes shed their skin for survival. Trees shed their leaves to make room for the new ones. And sometimes, people fall away so you can make room for those who can see your light and still choose to stand close. So when the shift happens and people begin to hate without reason, remind yourself, it's not really about you. It's about the mirror your journey became, and not everyone will be ready to face what they see in it. But keep moving, even when their silence screams louder than their words ever did. Your growth is not a burden, no matter how much they try to make you believe otherwise. In the beginning, they cheer for you. They clap the loudest when you stumble, when you are at your lowest, still trying to find your way. They may offer advice, comfort, and even smiles that seem genuine. But somewhere along the way, when you stopped crawling, when you stood up and people noticed your shine, their cheers start to fade. The smiles grow tight. Their sweet words now carry a sharpness you never saw coming. And you begin to understand that not every hand clapping is clapping out of love. Some will clap out of curiosity, watching to see if you fall again, just so they can say, "I knew it." But I have learned, and this is important, if there's one piece of knowledge I would want to pass down to younger generations, it's this. Some people are only loyal to your struggle. They connect with your brokenness simply because it makes them feel whole. They feel important when you're in pieces because they get to help you gather them. But when those pieces start to come together and form something solid, something beautiful, something powerful, suddenly you become unfamiliar. You're no longer the one needing help. You're the one moving forward. And not everyone knows how to handle that. People will support you as long as your growth doesn't stretch past their comfort. As long as you stay within their idea of who you've always been. But the moment you truly step into your power, the moment you begin to shine without asking permission, that's when you'll see a shift. That's when the smiles falter, the energy changes, and insecurities begin to surface. Because the truth is, your success challenges their limits. Your wins remind them of their stagnation, and instead of facing that truth, it's easier for them to talk about you behind your back, tell lies about you, and distance themselves from you, just so others would never think they were the problem. Know this, some people don't want you to fall because they hate you. They want you to fall because they're afraid of you succeeding without them. They're afraid of you having more than them, or what your success says about all the lies they told on you, and how that exposes them for the hater they truly are. You see, they were okay when you were the underdog. They wanted you to need their validation. But now you're wide awake. You see them. You're speaking with confidence. You're standing in rooms they could only dream of. You're doing the things they said you never would. And they can't quite clap for that. They can't show genuine support. They can't express the pride they feel deep inside for you because of all the shit they never should have talked. And it hurts. Because these are the people you once trusted. People who sat with you in the dark, who promised they'd be there when the light came. But I have learned not everyone who walks with you in struggle can handle your shine. Not everyone who says they love you means they love every version of you, especially the version that no longer depends on them. But don't let the silence of fake support make you question your journey. You're not growing, elevating to prove anyone wrong. They had the chance to elevate with you, but they chose an easier path. You're rising because you're meant to. Because your story doesn't end in pain. Because you had the courage to heal, to push, to be better. And that deserves more than applause. It deserves peace. Peace that would never beg for validation. Peace that would never shrink in the face of envy. Remember this: you don't owe anyone shit. And you don't have to apologize for doing what others were too afraid to try. If they can't celebrate you now, let them watch in silence. Let them wrestle with their own choices. Because real love, whether it's romantic, platonic, or familial, real support, it claps in private and in public. It celebrates your wins like they're shared. It lifts you higher, not with expectation, but with joy. So yes, people will clap for you when you're down, and some of them will hope you never get back up. But that's their karma, not yours. Your journey isn't for them. It's for those who believed when there was nothing to see. For those who never flinched when your light got brighter. And most of all, friends, it's for you. The one who got back up and dared to keep climbing. I can't wait for others to reach the stage in their journey when you no longer wait for a pat on the back, a kind word to keep you going. You just wake up one morning and decide, this is enough. I am enough. And I'm done putting up with others' bullshit. When you stop waiting for the world to confirm what your spirit already knows, that's when things begin to shift. Not just within you, but all around you. People who once embraced you start pulling away. Their tone changes. Their eyes carry something new, something you didn't expect from those who once called you love, friend, family. But when you no longer seek anyone's validation, you strip them of a silent power they once held. And some people don't take kindly to losing control. You start walking with confidence, not arrogance. You speak truth, not to impress, but because you find peace in honesty. Pay attention to who this makes uncomfortable. They're the ones who are false in your life. They're the ones who are fake, phony, two-faced. Not because you wronged them, because your freedom from their approval leaves them feeling unseen, maybe even irrelevant. They were used to being your mirror, warping the way you saw yourself. Now that you've found your own reflection, they're left questioning theirs. Know this: validation is a quiet currency in many relationships. It's a thing that keeps some people close, not because they love you, because they love being the one you turn to for permission. Gag. When you no longer need that, you trust your own voice. When you start living from a place of truth instead of performance, the game changes completely. And those who once held power in your uncertainty find themselves powerless in your clarity. So the next time someone tries to make you feel guilty for growing out of their approval or says, "You've changed," say, "Fuck yeah, I did. It's a shame that you couldn't." I don't need to ask you questions I already know the answers to. I'm done watering dead plants. I'm done trying to bend my light to fit in rooms that were never built to hold it. Because that kind of growth, that kind of knowing, won't sit well with those who relied on your doubt. You'll notice it in small ways first. Subtle shade, backhanded compliments, less eye contact, and heavier conversations. But then it will get clearer. They start questioning your motives, doubting your choices, calling your confidence ego, making you feel small and unsure of yourself. But all it really is discomfort. Their discomfort. In no longer being needed the way they once were. Understand, seeking guidance is fine. Just make sure you're getting that guidance from someone who is healed and grounded themselves. Or you run the risk of being led down a path that will only require more healing. Remember, the journey is yours to lead, and when you take the wheel of your own life, some passengers won't like where you're driving. They'll want to go back to when you needed their advice to feel strong. But you can't go back once you've tasted something real. That something is self-trust. And once you taste that, you can't live on crumbs anymore. So friends, remember this. Peace doesn't always look like applause. Sometimes it looks like walking alone. Like silence in a room full of noise. Like trusting your path even when others doubt it. And that kind of peace, that deep, grounded peace, is worth more than all the empty praise in the world. So keep going. Keep growing. Keep moving. Let the haters hate. And if no one's told you yet, I'm proud of you. Until next time, friends. Keep healing. See ya.